Good morning, everyone. Can't hear you. It's an exciting day. Good morning, everyone. Please rise with me as we recite the National Pledge. With vigor and vitality, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. I pledge to honor always the flag of Guyana, and be loyal to my country, to be obedient to the laws of Guyana, to love my fellow citizens, and to dedicate my energies towards the happiness and prosperity of Guyana. Thank you. Have a seat, please. Honorable Minister Colin Cole, Minister of Housing and Water, Honorable Minister Susan Rodriguez, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water. At the head table, Mr. Harun Khan, Deputy Chairman of the Better Hope Neighborhood Democratic Council. Dr. Emmanuel Cummings, I understand is here, the Chairman of the Board of the Central Housing and Planning Authority. Ms. Dennis Studer, Director of Operations for the Central Housing and Planning Authority. Senior management and staff of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, members of the media, and most importantly, you, the beneficiaries of today's activities. Excuse me. Welcome to the 60th Dream Realize event, Housing Drive, which is taking place here today at the Ardachong Convention Center. I would now like to call upon Mr. Harun Khan, who will give the official welcome remarks. Please join me in welcoming him.
Ladies and gentlemen, comrade all, a pleasant good morning. Honorable Minister Colin Cole, Honorable Minister Susanna Rodriguez, Honorable PS, other government official between the Ministry Housing and Water, Central Planning and Authority. I want to welcome you here this morning to Dream 2025 House Drive Region 4. I do not want to only welcome you here this morning. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure for me to be here. Why I say that? As a young, proud Guyanese, see tremendous development that is taking place across Guyana throughout the length and breadth of this country under the initiative of the one Guyana of Our Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali and Minister of Government. I proudly stand here to see the tremendous development and new house development areas that is taking place between the Better Hope LBI and NDC. It's not only development, it brings about revenue for the NDC, so that we can develop the NDC and enhance the life, better quality for our people. Comrade, I want to remind you this morning, we must remember that Guyana has now recognized by the international bodies and by the world. Guyana is one of the fast-growing economy in our country today. And why? Because of that. Because we have a caring president. We have a caring government and ministers who works daily on a daily basis, who every day on the ground reaching to the people, looking at the needs of the people. Comrade, I want to remind you and end here as I quote, we see what is happening and what is taking place. Today, the dream of your life become a reality. And that reality of your life, your journey, and your progress begins today. Because you will not only require and acquire a plot of piece of land, you will be holding a document before you. A document can enhance your life, that can brought you out of poverty, lift you up, and that is the People Progressive Party initiative. I want to remind you, proud to serve under the People Progressive Party, a party who have a history of track record, a party who deliver from the promises. And let us not look to the people who claim to be good disciples, who now coming around, walking around, wolves in sheep clothing. We promise you, we all know what promises were made for. We know the promise were made to us in 2015, and we suffered bitterly. And thank God for Excellency Dr. M.O.H.W. government. Thank you, God bless you, and long live the People Progressive Party.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that inspiring welcome remarks there. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Cummings, the chairman of the Central Housing and Planning Authority. I did so before, but he's in front now. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have listened to the vice chairman of the Better Hope LBI-NDC, and you will agree with me that the evidence is there of the development in Guyana all across the country. And you would have seen the ministers, perhaps myself, at some of those dream realized events. We are an onward path of progress and development in this country. And of course, while the vision and the direction comes from His Excellency President Dr. M.O.H.W, those who are executing those programs are the very staff that you're going to be meeting today, and those at the head table. The staff of the Central Housing and Planning Authority and the Ministry of Housing and Water, they work very hard. And the hours that they put in, sometimes it's unbelievable what they do in order so that we can fulfill the commitments that the government of Guyana has made. Of course, we are being led by two vibrant ministers who are always there to guide all of us to make sure that the commitments made by the government, they are fulfilled. I would like for you to join me in welcoming Honorable Minister Susan Rodriguez, who will address you at this point in time. Come on, a rousing round of applause there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Allow me to bid you a very good morning. Minister Crowell, Permanent Secretary Copen, LBI-NDC, Mr. Harun Khan, directors of the Central Housing and Planning Authority and staff, the chairman of the CHPA board, Mr. Cummings, who is here with us this morning. Thank you for joining us. Staff of the Guyana Water, Inc., members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be joining you this morning on this exciting morning here for our 60th Dream Realize here in Region 4. This morning we are continuing our quest to ensure that all of our allottees, especially those who have applied, all of our applicants, especially those who have applied for a long time and have been waiting, that you receive your house lots. In keeping with the commitment we made close to 5 years ago when we asked you for your vote. We came to the population with a manifesto and with certain commitments in every sector. And I'm very proud as a minister in the Ministry of Housing and Water and as a cabinet member of this government to say that we have fulfilled all of the commitments we made in our manifesto. And that is important because I've said publicly before, it's really the currency of politics and of government, building trust. And that's how you build trust with the people of your country. If you make certain commitments, it is vital that you fulfill those commitments. It shows respect for the people you are leading and representing. And of course, it's important that at the end of every tenure, that we can look back and say that we have made progress and that the lives of our people have been improved. And the Ministry of Housing and Water is one of those sectors or one of those ministries where you can easily measure the progress and you can easily see the accomplishments that we've made over the last 5 years. Those of you who will be allocated your house lots today will be receiving a house lot in 4 areas that we've made available over the next 2 days, or today and tomorrow. Felicity, Chateau Margaux, Little Souvenir, and Success. We are making 1,600 lots available over these 2 days for allocation. And all of those who will be receiving their house lots over these 2 days have applied 2019 and prior. So it's people who have been waiting for some time, and it's in keeping with our commitment to address the backlog in the system. Region 4 is our largest region and represents the highest demand that we have for housing. It has a backlog of we have about 48,000 pending applicants in Region 4, even though we've already made over 41,000 allocations within the last 5 years. Because people are applying all the time. As soon as young people reach the age of 21, the eligible age, the first thing they're doing is submitting their house lot applications. And that's a good thing, because it shows that our young people are thinking about getting ahead, they're thinking about their future, but also it shows that they have tremendous confidence in this government because they know that their house lot application will be addressed, and they see the plan to do that, and they see the results of the Ministry of Housing and Water over the last 5 years. So they are confident that if they submit that application, they understand that there may be a waiting period, but the fact is they're getting it in early, and we have been explaining to the public the strategy that we are using to address all of the applications. And only this year, I think it was December, Minister Cole, we were called to a meeting on Christmas Eve. So when we thought we were having a light Christmas Eve, right, Ms. Tudor, and we were closing up shop early to go home to celebrate the Christmas, we were called to a meeting at State House. And the President said, I know you have 10,000 allocations left to fulfill our 5-year commitment, but guess what? You have to find 25,000 house lots for the final year. And we started work immediately. As soon as we broke the year 2025, we started to roll out the strategy of how we're going to achieve this. But it's not a manifesto alone. It is a commitment to improving the quality of life of our people that's guiding us. And that is why we can, even though we've made certain commitments, we're going beyond those commitments. Because we're being guided by the numbers, we're being guided by data, we're being guided by the communities, or we look at the amount of people who are coming to the Ministry of Housing and placing their trust and confidence in us and making their applications. It's our responsibility, and we take it very seriously, to make sure that strategy is from Region 1 to 10, with the exception of Region 4, because the demand is so that we will clear entirely the backlog in those regions up to and so it's an incredible task, but we thought 50,000 house lots in 2020 was incredible too. And we thought, it's a huge order, it's never been done before. And we may have been a little intimidated, but Minister Cole and I, and the ministry and the staff, we've navigated over the last 5 years, and we definitely will surpass that. And so in shifting the target and making it even bigger so that the impact can be real on those who are waiting and those who have come to us within the last 5 years, we are confident that we will be able to achieve our targets, our new targets that we've set for ourselves. The housing sector is one that, has restored hope and has allowed Guyanese to see that the government is working on their behalf, and we have spent a lot of time trying to explain that it's not just about allocating a plot of land. We see the housing sector as we have always seen the housing sector, because from 1992 to 2015, the PPPC government allocated over 100,000 house lots during that period. This period, we will allocate over 50,000 lots, and it takes a tremendous amount of investment in infrastructure to open new lands, to build new highways, and to put in the utilities in these areas for the allottees to benefit from. And it comes at a very heavy cost. The lots are about 85% subsidized, and so from the moment you pay for your house lot, it's already worth more than you paid for it. So we see the housing sector and the housing program as a great equalizing factor and a vehicle through which we can create generational wealth. Anybody who has become wealthy anywhere in the world owns real estate. It's part of their investment portfolio, owning real estate, because the asset only appreciates over time. And so we want Guyanese to become landowners and homeowners and business owners. That has been the driving ideology of your government over the last 5 years. That is what is guiding our policies, our programs, and all of the projects that we have been embarking on. It's ensuring that Guyanese become owners of land, property, businesses, owning ideas. We've been working only a week ago, I accompanied him on a remarkable trip as we advanced and that are thriving on innovation. And we want the people to have the freedom to create and innovate. We want to promote the arts, culture, guiding our philosophy in government, and it all comes together forward. Higher education. You would have seen only days ago, President Ali made another announcement that the government will pay for up to 8 subjects for those writing CSEC and CAPE. And this was not something we promised 5 years ago, but it's something that when we go and have meetings or people come to us, these are the struggles that they face. And when they express these things to us, it's our duty as a government to be responsive. It's not to say, hold on, we promised 10 things and we did it already, so we finish. That's not how you govern, and that's not how we govern. So we believe in governing in a real way and in a way that really impacts the lives of people. And that's why we keep going to communities all the time. We keep having meetings all of the time, because those consultations are extremely important to us. And when we complete that, we don't just leave and forget about everything that the people said to us. We incorporate that into the next phase of planning. And then we deliver those results and we respond in a way that brings relief to people and in a way where people feel like their concerns are being addressed. So for all those people who would have come to us and say, you know, I face difficulties paying for my children's education, well now the children are, education is free, university education is free, you can access a gold scholarship, you don't have to pay for the exams. And so we keep responding in ways that are real for people. We will always be there for you, and you can see that in the policies and the programs and all of the initiatives that we have been involved in or that we have introduced over the last 5 years. So I want to take this opportunity. I don't want to keep you long this morning. It's a beautiful day. It seems to be a cool day. You will spend a little bit of time with us today, but we'll make the process as fast as possible. The staff of CHPA are very efficient in ensuring that we tackle the crowds, no matter how large or small. But we've also had a heavy focus on the processing of titles. And so while you see a lot of the house lot allocation, we also have our community development department that has regularized thousands of lots also over this period to give people home ownership. And so from January 2024 to March 2025, while you see a lot of the numbers on house lots, during that period, we have signed 10,443 people, signed them up to process their certificates of title. And that is also a remarkable achievement. That's just in 1 year. And this is to allow people to have their ownership. They can take that to any financial institution and unlock finance or start a business. And this is the type of want for every single Guyanese. And so you now, even though you will now acquire to work in these areas, and we've become more proficient in occupy and access your house lot. Services of the banks and the insurance companies that are accompanying us here today, so that you can start your planning, showing your house lot and occupy your lot. You will be ready for construction. So I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you. I know you've been waiting for some time. Some of you may have become a little frustrated with the process, but I know that this renews the hope for those of you who are here today, and for those who are watching and still waiting on their call. Tell them I know many of you have neighbors and they say, girl, you get a phone call, I still waiting. So let them know that the process works. And like I said, we've outlined to you, and Minister Crowell will reinforce again to you what our plan is to address all of the backlog and how we're going to do that. So you don't need to bypass the process. You don't need to pay anybody anything or engage in any illegal activity to get through with your house lot. Just be a little patient with us and we will address it. It is our commitment to you and we take that very, very seriously. Let's do it right. Let's do it clean. Let everybody get a fair chance. So congratulations to you. Your life is forever changed when you own a property. And you will your life, but you set the standard for your family and for the next generation that is coming. Because when your children look at you and they say, Mommy and Daddy own this house, I gotta get my own too. Or maybe I gotta get 2 or 3. And I gotta do better in life. And that's what we want. For us, the way that we must take care of our children in the future is by starting to take care of this generation and putting you on the right path, putting you on the path to success, putting you on the path to prosperity. that was our commitment to you, and that's what we've been working tirelessly on, ensuring that the decisions we make today affect the future of tomorrow in a positive way. And so we want to build you up. We want to put that confidence in you, that you can do this, that you can become a landowner, and that you can forever change the trajectory of your future and the future of your children. So thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Susan Rodriguez. The Minister made some very important points. I think it's very important to repeat those briefly. She spoke about trust, commitment of the government, that we are seeing measurable progress, not just speaking, but you can see the development in the country. And also what you've been seeing has never been done in the history of this country. You will agree with me on at least that point there. That the new lands are not just there that we can walk into it, that it calls for preparation, infrastructure work, the drainage, the roads, the utilities, etc. to be installed. And of course, all of the land that you're getting, they're highly subsidized, meaning that the government is not charging what it costs to develop those lands. And of course, all of this, when you're here today, this is the creation or leading to the creation of generational health and prosperity for all of our people, regardless of where they are in the country or regardless of what their leanings are, etc. And so I also wanted to, she mentioned the California trip that she took with His Excellency. I'm sure that you have heard that His Excellency also received the Global Leadership Award for Open Innovation. Please join me in congratulating our President. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, the work that is being done by this ministry, of course, it's being led by our ministers. And more role all across this country. 1 minute he's in Region 4, then you'll see him in 5, and then in Region 1 and 2. So he is the leader of this ministry, obviously guided by His Excellency. And he ensures that all of the work that is being done is done to the rate that the commitment has been made already by the government. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Honorable Minister Colin Crowell to address you.
Thank you very much, our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Bisram Kupen, colleague Minister Susan Rodriguez, our Permanent Secretary who's chairing, Chairman of the Board of Central Housing and Planning Authority, Dr. Emmanuel Cummins. And let me ask Dr. Cummins to stand, and I'll tell you a few bits. Dr. Cummins, can you stand so we can be recognized? Thank you. Ms. Denise Tudor, Director of Operations and performing the responsibilities for the Chief Executive Officer for Central Housing and Planning Authority. The other heads, department heads of CHP, staff of CHP in general, members of the media, the representing the Neighborhood Democratic Council, for which the areas that we are allocating today falls under, and that is BINDC, Deputy Chairman Mr. Harun Khan. But more importantly, you who are here this morning and the other that are about to become allottees on your new lands that you will all be allocated. I want to say a very good morning to one and all. That if you follow our social media page or if you're seeing housing in some sort of activity. And so you may ask yourself, well, what's new? What new can you hear today? I've heard them. I'm hearing them every week. You're in some other region, and on Monday you'll hear us again, because on Monday we're in a region. It is important also for you today who will be allotted, that to recognize, and to your listeners, to recognize the interventions and the projections to ensure that the people of Guyana, that to ensure you and your families, and to ensure that the next generation to come, that we all are working steadfastly as a government, as a People's Progressive Party civic government, to ensure that the citizens for access to their new land and their security of tenure. That's what we are here for. That's what the mandate, one of the major mandates we have under the housing and water sector. And today, therefore, as we start, and I ask you for a few minutes because the staff will be working throughout the day, and we continue obviously until tomorrow. So I ask for your patience and your indulgence. You've been waiting for years, and as CPS started with, today is a joyous day. Today signals, therefore, when you have applied and you're waiting and you're posting on social media or you're saying to us whenever you engage us, I'm not here for housing, I'm waiting for so many years. Today is the end of all of that because you are receiving your formal document that will signal which lot you are being allocated. So I ask for your indulgence for a few minutes because when we say to the people of Guyana that we will allocate 10,000 house lots annually, which means mandate in this first term, we take lightly what that means. The period of 2015 to 2020 of what they did, and then when you raise doubts on what we are presenting to you, you recognize, therefore, that in their government, in their tenure, where they allocated 7,000 plus, and we said we're doing 10,000 annually, you'll understand that when that former minister should not even attempt to write anything about housing. Because today, as you start, we are commencing on the allocation total of 44,100. Done the mandate for this year, which means that I only have to do a 6,000. Not how this PPPC government operates, because we are not content with that. We can come up with strategies, policies to be able to do more. As you are here as citizens, to pass on to you, to be able to feel and you see that transformation, that development, not just from a physical perspective, but from your own perspective where you're increasingly receiving more benefits, to see that your disposable income means much more individually, but also to receive the services we are providing as a government. And look across in this entire tent, just look in the audience. When you want to say, when persons speak about, and it irks me, when I see statement that says the housing program only targets one set of people. Look around you. You just take a look at you where probably the person you're sitting next to or the row in which you are. And you tell me, come to the ministry every day. Right now, on average, we're seeing about 300 persons who are there for, whether it's for new applicants, whether it's for going up on queries or issues. 300 persons passes through the ministry post at the same time of having to wait from what they have been accustomed to doing. So we have to be addressed at some point in time. 58% of allottees are from Region 4 of that 44. allocated today is about 38%, 65% of the region. So anyone who was waiting and saying to say that I'm still waiting on my allocation, I'm from East Bank, you're waiting in vain. Are on the east coast of Demerara. We saturated the east bank of Demerara on to the budgetary allocations that will be made in the following year. Allocated in 2024, by and large, have not seen their land as yet, and we keep those and we go beyond that. So in writing, when you're allocated, we're indicating to you that you will be able to see and access your land by 2025, because the end of 2025, because the infrastructure work will be completed. So please don't take for granted what is happening in this sector, because for the allocations we have done in Region 4, the land, the amount of land we have utilized for your 25,000 allocation is about 9,000 acres of land alone that we have developed here in Region 4 for about, as part of the collective of new housing schemes, where since we're in office, since 2020, 86 new housing areas, and I repeat, 86 new housing areas, of which in Region 4 itself, we have 26 on the east coast of Demerara. And in Region 4, 37 new areas, 9,000 acres of land. Those are lands that government also had to make tough decisions, because you have Ministry of Agriculture as part of our food security, because we can do all the infrastructure, we can build all the 12 new hospitals we are doing. We also have to ensure food security. We have to eat. Just like how they use this, the saying to say, you don't eat concrete roads. Of our people, and your livelihood is secured. Today also, we have had an aggressive program over the last year continuing. And I speak here now, every time you have an activity, somebody will post, I have not seen my land, or I have not signed my agreement, I want to go to the bank. Absolutely, and we recognize that. I said to you the volume of work we are doing. Minister gave you the figures of how much titles we have processed. Therefore, today, I want to recognize not only Central Housing and Planning Authority, I want to recognize both the land and deeds registrar with their registry, because of the support work they are playing in ensure the titles or transports are processed. It's not only under the purview of Central Housing, so sometimes I think persons don't recognize this. When you're waiting on your title and you've signed your agreement, once you've signed your agreement, it goes on to a next stage. It's not waiting alone on Central Housing. It has to go through another agency. And that's it, both, depending on what you're processing, both the deeds or the land registrar. Therefore, we have today 521 certificates of titles for areas within Nonpareil, Diendrag, Bladen Hall, La Reconnaissance, Strathspey, LBI, Annandale, and some of the new Cummings Lodge. As they are completed, we are making it available. So if you're signed, and I'm saying this to the listeners now, if you're signed for your agreement of sale and to process your title, if you have not received that as yet, please note it's not in anybody's shelf. It's going through its mandate, and that is where we're processing to ensure that you get your document. You will be informed when it's ready. And as I speak throughout the day, the registrar is working to ensure that by the end of today, we will get about another 250 titles for the Good Hope area, for which we will call those persons to make available tomorrow. And the process will continue. So as I said to you, when you see us at the ministry, it's not about allocation alone. There are other things. And in preparation for allocation exercises, a number of things have to go into place to ensure that they are able to have the right chit, to recognize the land, the costing, etc. And the cost you are paying is heavily subsidized because on average, to develop costs a minimum of 5 million. So you are your land. Moving forward, we also have continuing part of our commitment for home ownership. So when you will be accessing your cement subsidy program, Region 4 alone about 741 vouchers, about $185 million in value. On this program alone, and tomorrow, you have another 71 vouchers that will be offered, another $17 million plus injection to ensure home ownership for our people. These are all initiatives that are geared towards helping you to ensure that you can own your own home as quickly as possible. The areas, therefore, of Chatumargo, Felicity, Larry Souvenir, Success. Those are the 4 areas allocating today. Large, where are they located? In 2 years, you're getting it today, so it's phase 2. When you see it on the plan, you will say to me, so far back, till down there? Because it will look to you, when you measure the East Coast, it's going inwards. It's going south. But you know what? As part of our connection and connectivity in terms of communities, opening new lands, and you've seen the work already ongoing, where a number of highways have been built and are being constructed. So for example, under housing, we have from Mandela to Craig, Busby Dam, and then we have already started the work from Craig to Landecanon. Then you have go over the river. You saw or from the bridge to Schoonard. The work has already been done for the alignment from Schoonard to Parika. You heard the president outline the Region 3 plans. I'll save that for Monday. Let's speak today on Region 4. With the Aubrey-Barker Road, there's another ongoing contract in 2 lots under the Ministry of Public Works that continues the Aubrey-Barker Road to the bypass road from the Ogle that is being built and will be open in a few months, where you have connecting at Ogle the 4-lane that comes out at Eccles. So those people on Region 3, you don't have to see Georgetown. You will come over the newly built bridge, connect to that highway, and then connect here to the East Coast, bypassing all that traffic you went through this morning. Similarly, the piece for people on the East Coast and going east can join the Ogle Highway and connect, come out at the Eccles roundabout. There's a road that is being constructed now that for the continuation of Rebecca Road that ends at the cross for the Ogle 4-lane, whereby we will continue going onwards to end more industrial development. Your land that you are getting in 2 years will become even the front on the East Coast lands where you will fall. So if you think your value has gone up today, think about when that happens. Because you will not even want to use the East Coast. You will not even want to come out to the East Coast. You will be using that connecting road that takes you to Georgetown. I want you to therefore understand what is happening for you, your children, and for the people of Guyana. To say to you, we opened 86 new housing schemes in 4.5 years may sound like just, small numbers, it's under 100. But all of those, as Pierre said, you have to do the infrastructure work. We're starting the land development from zero for virgin lands. So it's new drainage, roads, and the utilities to accompany the areas in which you will be allocated. What does that mean? That mean for you that what you see even here, where you see a lawn, is not what we're starting from. We're starting where we have to debush lands, where there's a lot of vegetation, and you will see that transformation. Anytime you're flying over, you will be amazed of the amount of development that has taken place. So to the communities where the trucks have to traverse, we also need to ask them for some patience. They need to have some patience too, because at one point in time, their area had to be developed, and they also had to pass through somebody's area to access. And that's what development is about. We will do back the road once it is disturbed to its original state. I want to now recognize the work of our project department. Because all those new areas that I just said to you comes with it work from our mandate for contracts and management. This year, we're in about the 4th month of the year. We have signed for new infrastructure works about 115 new contracts or projects, if you want to say. On average, every month, through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, through disbursements and expenditure, we are processing $12 billion on average every month, right now, for infrastructure work. And we are not, and all of this is done, the consultancy, the supervision, if whatever you want to say, it's done in-house by our project team. All of that, and that's why I started off with the board, all of that is now brings me to the recognition of the board, because the board also has responsibility for those limits, the approval that are under the Central Housing Board limit, and with that has the implementation now also of the single window electronic for construction processing unit for construction that sees them having to meet much more. So I want to recognize the work of the board for Central Housing and Planning Authority. And I know for listeners, you'll say that you have an application for approval that may be there for a while, and I want to recognize that. There are some that are within the transition, and we are also enforcing, Chair, the responsibility as what we enshrined in the legislation, in the law. That is to be time-bound in our response for approvals. What that means is that those agencies for which they have documents to give their review for the dashboard, and they have it sitting there, and you don't know this, the applicants don't know this, they blame Central Housing. It's sitting at somebody's desk or the local authorities who seem not to want to cooperate because you're taking away perks from somebody's desk to have a document hold up. All of that is enshrined in the legislation that we've passed to ensure that by time bound, the response time for approvals. So the board has been given specific mandate to ensure that they start implementing what is legislated there to proceed if applications are being made and the various agencies have not responded in the assigned time, then we have to move the work ahead, because no one agency, no one person will stop the development or the transformation to happen as quickly, or to ensure that your services are met as quickly as possible. My final comment is reserved for GWI. The whipping boys and girls sometimes for social media. So sometimes you see a discolored water is posted. Some have legitimacy, quite rightly. Some has where people have to clean their own tanks, they have to do their own internal cleaning. But what we have done in the water sector to ensure that the changes happen as quickly as possible is not really, the story is not really captured. On the East Coast, and I'm going far, right here on the East Coast, aspire to ensure that you have a quality of water, because it's not just about access. So on the coastline, everyone has access to potable water. That's not what the challenge is. The challenge is your level of service and the quality of water coming to the households. What are we doing? We have a massive program that we're implementing to ensure that all the water on the coast is treated. Here on the east coast of Demerara, we have about a $7.5 billion program to ensure that that happens and that you have 100% access to treated water. Let's start at Bachelor's Adventure. You have a treatment plant that is being constructed there. You can see it on the main road. That is about 90% complete. Then you have, and that's about $2 billion investment. You have the upgrade of the existing plants at Better Hope, Monrepo, and Friendship. That's about 95% complete, another $1 billion investment. We have the LBI and Luzignan stations, the inline filters being placed. So that's about 90% complete. Note the percentage. That's a $250 million investment. We have the Sparendam area, the inline filters for Sparendam, where we spent about $120 million. That work is complete. That work is complete. So anybody within the Sparendam area ought to be getting treated water. You then have the big project, the Hope Canal, which is about $4 billion investment to ensure that we have on the east coast of Demerara, for about 33,000 customers. Work has already started. When that work on the Hope Canal to take that fresh water to treated level is complete, we will have 100% treated water on the east coast of Demerara. But with all of that, also sees where you have the drilling of a number of wells and the transmission mains to go with it. So now this brings another abuse out. When you look at social media, you'll see somebody has posted the land, the reserve in front of which you live, or the area in which you live, the entire road at the corner, some either left or right, it's dug up. And what's happened to? You have some of the communities, because of our aggressive road program, community road program, you have some roads that have just been done, and then when you look to the side, here comes GWI digging it up to put their pipes. The challenge for us, we are working on so much on simultaneous express trains that we can't wait on each other. And so in every community you see transmission lines being laid. What's the purpose? It's two. One, to change out the old lines that you have to allow you to have an increased level of service, because if we increase the pressure, you know what happens? You'll have leakages. And secondly, to accommodate from the treatment plants that we are new putting in place, as well the upgraded one, to accommodate those water. So again, I ask for your patience because in a few months, people here on the east coast of Demerara, except those who will await the Hope Canal, will all be getting treated water. When we started at August 2020, we were at 52% treated water coverage. As I speak, we're about 80 to 85% coverage on the coastline. And by the end of this year, we will be up to 90% minimum of coverage to treated water. So just a little more patience. We already have the resources that have been provided to ensure that this happens for you as quickly as possible. Because in 4 years on the water sector, we have spent $65 billion for this sector alone. So when you see somebody has one issue or one matter and it's magnified, because we like to spread the negativities, we also at the same time don't take into consideration what is happening overall on the massive program to ensure that all of you are going to receive that level of services. Congratulations to all of you who are here today. There is so much we can report on the housing and water sector as what is happening. But if we don't say it, if we don't say and speak to the people of Guyana what we are doing, what will happen to you today when you see that envelope and you put your hand in and you leave here will blow over your heads, because we will not necessarily have an appreciation of what is happening in this sector. All we will be bothered and all we'll be concerned with is that somebody posts, I am still waiting for an allocation. Region 4, as Minister said, we have committed and we are doing this in writing, so as early as today, Region 6 allottees will start receiving their letter. We're putting it in writing to say all the persons by July of this year will be allotted in those regions. That's all the regions except Region 4. And we have to recognize, the last time I said this, you know what somebody said? Oh, well, we ain't voting for y'all anymore. Region 4, not important. Region 4, as Minister Roderick said, has the highest level of pending applicants. So we have to take things into context. So while we have allocated 20-something thousand, you still have 40-something thousand that have applied. And we can't make these lands. We're taking away from some sector to ensure that you have home ownership. And that is why we put a year as a start off. Because when we got in, all the complaints of how many persons waiting prior, etc., and we were set back by 5 years, as I said, because nothing happened for the housing sector. We are working as a government as we get the lands to get them off to the beneficiaries. We ain't keeping land for anybody. And that is why I can say to you, for the 1,600 over these 2 days, for which 1,000 is today, so those will be for the low and moderate income allottees. Tomorrow, another 600. Those will be for the high and the middle level. That's 1,600. On the plan or the area that we are assigning to you, that's 1,600 of 200, but of 1,600 of 2,000 lots. And you know with every area has to have development for green space, for your recreational facilities, to cater for services for expansion. So when you see a land area in a developed scheme, don't feel like we're keeping the land for anybody. We put on the plan public open space, not necessarily mean for a recreational facility, because everybody wants a ground to recreate. But a lot of them they're not maintaining or using. It is also to cater for government's expansion of services. Because with all these new areas, you know what else has to happen? We have to build schools. Already on the East Bank, for those up to Diamond, we have 2 secondary schools that are catered for. The one at Prospect that is under construction, and the one that now the land preparation has started in Grove to cater for that catchment. Similarly, as we grow the population and as we move as we have a shift, so will be for us having to respond for health, education, human service, and other services that we normally provide to people. So we have to keep land for that growth. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. This is your time. This is your day. Be patient. Everyone that is seated here and has passed the screening process will be served. Just work with the staff. You've waited for years. What is it to wait just a few hours? Please have patience. And I once again want to say to you, as the letter will say what you will receive, don't wait until you're accessing your land before this year is finished. Don't wait. In fact, I can say to you, we have already awarded the contracts for the infrastructure work for these 4 areas. The contractors have already mobilized. And so by the end of this month, they will start their physical construction on those areas. If you go now, you will see large bush. But as we have said to you, engage the banks. They are here, and I want to recognize their presence. Engage the insurance companies. They are here because you have to, if you're taking a mortgage, you also have to ensure that you have fire insurance, but it's not only about the mortgage, it's about ensuring you protect yourself, engage and get the necessary information. So when your time comes, you don't got to run helter-skelter. You can know upfront and prepare yourself how much you can borrow, how much as to what level you will want to do. Start planning on your design so that once you're shown your land, you hit the ground running. Have a God bless day and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Kroll. You have heard a lot from us and from our honorable ministers. Ladies and gentlemen, now we'll get some instructions on how the process will move forward. And for that, I'd like to invite Ms. Vanetta, who will give us some information on how we will conduct the process here. Please join me in welcoming her because you'll see a lot of her today.
Good morning. My name is Vanetta Williams. Today our process will be as follows. You will select your house lot, then you will proceed to your payment, then you'll receive your allocation offer letter. You will then proceed to your plot on the design plan that we have available. We'll have a description of how this process will work. First, we'd like to invite the chairman, Mr. Khan. Mm-hmm. You want to include chairman also? All right. Include him with the second student. Mm-hmm. Oh. Could Jeannie Alves come to the front, please? And Satyanan Ramnarayan. All right, stand in front here. Thank you. Ms. Alves is now the proud owner of 300 Le Souvenir. Thank you. Have a seat. Mr. Ramnarayan, can you select? Mr. Ramnarayan is now the owner of 253 Le Souvenir. Thank you. We'll now invite our housing chairman to do the selection. Thank you. Sorry, Chairman of the Board, can you stand here? Could we have Kalawati Chintaman, Nakasia Cassius, and Shaliza Bash? Ms. Chintaman is now the owner of 453 Lure Souvenir. Ms. Cassius. Ms. Cassius is the owner of 573 Lure Souvenir. Congratulations. Ms. Shaliza Bash. Ms. Bash is the owner of 295 Lure Souvenir. Thank you. We'll now invite our acting CEO, Mr. King Tudor. And can we have Christina Rampasad, Melissa Corbin, and Chandrawati Pagwa? Christina Rampasad, Onika Corbin, and Chandrawati Pagwa. All right. Put Rampasad first. All right, just stand right here. Ms. Rampasad is now the owner of 349. Sorry, Ms. Pagwa. Could we have Ms. Corbin? 349, please. Ms. Corbin? Yes, Melissa Corbin. Ms. Melissa Corbin is now the proud owner of 495 Felicity. Congratulations. Have a seat. Look. In the corner there. Ms. Rampasad. Ms. Rampasad is now the owner of 307 Felicity. Thank you. Wait right there. We'll now like to invite our PS. Could we have Yvette Paul, Vashti Jaikisoon, and Ashraf Yusuf? Thank you. What's your name? Vashti Jaikisoon is now the owner of 331 Lure Souvenir. Mr. Paul? Okay. Just once. Come up, Mr. Yusuf. All right. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf. He's now the owner of 518 Lure Souvenir. Miss Yvette Paul. Miss Yvette Paul is now the owner of 472 Lure Souvenir. Thank you, PS. We'll now like to invite our Honorable Minister Rodriguez. Could we have Sandra Booker, Rondell Franklin, Nankumari Gopal, also Rolex Glasgow, Thakur Ramdas. Mr. Rondell Franklin is now the owner of 228 Felicity. Thank you. Just a correction, it's 288 Felicity. Thank you. Sorry, was it? No. No. All right, just stand in the corner. You gotta put this one back. Sorry. Yeah, you select wrong. Sandra Booker. Rolex. The other one's Rolex. Ms. Booker is now the owner of 340 Felicity. Ramnas. Stand in the corner and wait for us, thanks. Mr. Ram, yes, go ahead. Rolex. Mr. Ramdas is now the owner of 328 Lurie Souvenir. Thank you. Stand in the corner. Glasgow. Mr. Glasgow, please step forward and select your house lot. Nankumar Gopal. Mr. Rolex is the owner, or Mr. Glasgow is the owner of 479 Lurie Souvenir. Yes. Mr. Gopal. Sorry.
No, he didn't come his turn.
No. Mr. Gopal. Thank you, Mr. Gopal. He's now the owner of 358 Felicity. Thank you, Minister Rodriguez. We'll now ask Minister Colin Crowell. Could we have Delicia George, Padmawati Lachman Narain, Aisha Jagbar, and Tina Sidat. Ms. George? Ms. George? Okay. Ms. Delicia George? Ms. Delicia George, kindly select your house. Thank you. Padmawati. Okay. Congratulations to Ms. George. She's now the owner of 473 Felicity. Ms. Aisha Jabbar. Ms. Aisha Jabbar is now the owner of 157 Felicity. Congratulations. Ms. Lachman Narain. Ms. Lachman Narain is now the owner of 213 Felicity. And Ms. Sidat, step forward. Ms. Sidat is now the proud owner of 297 Felicity. Thank you. Please hold. Could we have Paul Clark, Hasib Haq, and Ishwari Prasad? For Mr. Clark, kindly step forward. Mr. Clark is now the proud owner of 294 Lyric Souvenir. Congratulations. Mr. Hack, kindly step forward. Mr. Hack is now the owner of 498 Lyric Souvenir. Thank you. Could we have Ms. Prasad, Ishwari Prasad? Thank you, Minister Kroll. Ms. Prasad is now the owner of 454 Lyric Souvenir. Congratulations. Stand in the corner. Okay, so we'll now have a demonstration of our title distribution by for the persons that just selected, could you come in here? Thank you. So we can lead you to the tent.
Hi. For the titles, please come forward, please.
Richard? Richard? I'm inviting Chairman to start the distribution. Richard Simangal and Samantha Simangal. Patrick Stark and Bibi Natasha Mohammed. C. Kumari Gangi. Pardon? Christian Balaram. Travis Collin Cumberbatch. Travis. Naresh Singh and Basmati Singh. Mr. Arun Khan, I'm inviting you to Vice Chairman. Yolanda Malaika James. Sirchan BP and BB. Candace Phillips. Candace. Mrs. Susan. Eon Clark. Kim Richards. Bibi Hamid. Elizabeth Scott. I now invite the Honorable Minister Cole. Chris Hines. Dwayne Vivas. And Steffi Kamabaj or Mamela. Parmanan Singh. Mohit Sukra and Davika Jaikaran. Tawif Mohammed and Bibi Azwim. I now invite PS. Gauri Singh. Gauri Singh. Baldio Dinoine and Irene Elizabeth Francis. Cicely George. Thank you. That concludes the title distribution.
Thank you very much, everyone. I just want to bring to your attention that in the compound, we also have Guyana Water Incorporated, we have the banks, and we also have insurance companies. As you receive your titles and or you go through this process, it's important for those because you'll want to build in your land, etc. All right. Now I'll invite housing so that we can identify the process from here on forward. And if you notice, everyone is wearing white. Those who are employed by the central housing, they'll please on how they move. I'll invite Ms. Tudor so she can give some directions to the staff and to yourselves. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. I acknowledge the head table and everyone that is present here today. Throughout the day, how are we going to do that? We do have a system in your names and see to there's a section there. It is so separated by the chairs. We have gray chairs, we have white chairs. Where the gray chairs are, you will be seated there and to the table to select your lot numbers. Thereafter, like it was explained, come to where we have these containers, the staff, the cash, they take your payment. When you're finished making that payment, we will kindly ask you to come to return to us. You'll note that we have a few photocopiers there. You'll then proceed to the staff, present the receipts, and they will copy those receipts. Thereafter, you will be seated and you will await for us to see where this land is on the design layout. move to the point where you will see the surveys are, and you on the design layout. I also wish to say to you, temporary number. When we are ready to sign, you'll receive the permanent number. I also would number and the permanent number in terms of position on ground will not change. All right, it will not change. So do not let anyone have allocated to you. We're starting off with the design layout, and this will be soonly followed by the recorded plan or the cadastral plan. And so we want to encourage you, like PS would have mentioned and our ministers mentioned, to visit with the representatives from the banking sector, from the banks, visit with insurance companies, start that discussion today, because we would like you to start building that dream house in the shortest possible time, maybe early in the new year, as we promised that we're going to have infrastructure in place before the year is through. Do have a meaningful day. Do have a pleasant day as we serve you. Finally, though, as you wait, we do have some coffee, some tea, and some snacks there available. So if perchance you feel a bit, you need something to drink, water is also provided. If you need something to drink or to have a snack, we will be happy to serve you and to do so for the entire day. So enjoy the day.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tudor. If you notice the direction she gave, we have some signs that are posted and the tents at the back there, so they're self-explanatory and you'll see those. So I want to wish you all the best. Congratulations, best wishes on your future, and have a great day. Thank you. We'll be around. The ministers are still here. They'll be here to answer questions that if you have any. So we are available here, okay? Thank you.